Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. It looks like people are still trying to get in, so I'm just going to hang out for a minute or two until we can get everybody logged in and ready to go. If there's any questions in the meantime, um, please feel free to send a chat message down in the bottom right-hand corner. And so I will start the presentation in just a couple of minutes. All right. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get started. Just in case anybody joined late, I'm going to go ahead and start the presentation. If you have any questions that I don't answer, I will try and answer those at the end of the presentation, and you can send those in via the chat box down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. So I will go through a lot of information today, so hopefully I'll get most of your questions answered, but like I said, if I miss anything, please feel free to send those messages in um, at the bottom right-hand corner. So, all right. Well, thank you all again for joining us this afternoon. Before you head off to Scandinavia, we wanted to reach out to answer questions you may have about what to pack, currency, where to meet. First off, I'll go over just some general information, answer some of the questions that you submitted on the registration form, and then at the end of the presentation, like I said, I'll open it up for any additional questions that you may have. Some of you I know submitted some questions related to your specific tour, and I may not answer those online today, but we will reach out to you via email a little later to get those answers to you. All right, so to start off, my name is Amanda Hancock. I'm the manager of sales and marketing for Brekke Tours and Travel. If you don't have any, if I don't answer the questions that you have today, please feel free to contact us by phone or email. We're happy to answer those questions. And then I also invite you to visit our website, as you'll find a variety of information about traveling to Scandinavia and beyond in our helpful hints booklet, which you'll receive in your final documents. So, speaking of which, that's the first thing we're going to talk about today. And in case any of you have to step away and leave or anything like that, the presentation is recorded, and I will send a copy of the presentation to everyone after the webinar today. So anyway, okay, so know your documents. A few weeks before you depart on your trip to Scandinavia, you can expect to receive a packet of information from our office. You can expect to receive one packet of information per couple. In that package, you'll find a departure letter with some basic information pertaining to your specific tour, a final tour itinerary, your final flight itinerary if you've purchased airfare through our office, a luggage tag, actually 2 luggage tags per person, a tote bag, contact information for the hotels you'll be staying at while on tour, a copy of the Helpful Hints booklet, and any additional information that might pertain to your particular tour. Now, some documents are more important than others. For instance, please double check to make sure your passport is valid for at least 3 to 6 months after your return date, and that you have a copy or 2 of your passport. And you will actually need the passport booklet, not the passport card. The card, if you try to get on an airplane with the card, they won't let you on, unfortunately. If you make a copy of your passport, be sure to pack that along with your original passport in your carry-on bags. Do not put it in your check luggage, put it in your carry-on. You may also want to leave a copy of your passport with a family member or a friend, which can be sent to the U.S. Embassy in case your passport is lost or stolen while overseas. Now, please take a few moments to ensure that the name listed on your airline ticket matches your passport name, and this includes your first, middle, and last. You may also want to keep your airline receipt to ensure that your miles are credited to your frequent flyer account. The airlines are responsible for crediting your points, so if your account balance is incorrect, please contact the airlines directly and have them update that. And finally, if you have booked any independent services with us, say a pre or post-tour stay, please review your documents before departing the U.S. and contact us immediately if you notice any errors or if you have any questions. Please note that vouchers will have emergency contact numbers in case you need assistance while
I'm sorry about that, guys. For some reason, my computer lost the connection, so I hope everybody can hear me again. I apologize about that little technical snafu. Anyway, regarding the vouchers, please note that vouchers will have emergency contact numbers in case you need assistance. And then finally, be sure to note any special instructions. For instance, train vouchers must be exchanged for an actual ticket before boarding the train. Now, on the land portion of your tour, we allow one suitcase and one carry-on bag per person. Luggage handling at hotels is provided for one suitcase, thus your luggage will be delivered and picked up at your hotel room at the beginning and end of your stay. We do provide 2 luggage tags per person, so please put these tags on your large suitcase and your carry-on. You may also want to put a label with your name, address, and phone number inside your luggage, just in case your tag becomes separated. And most airlines do allow 1 free piece of checked luggage on international flights. If you have any domestic tickets booked in conjunction with your international flight, the airlines may charge a baggage fee. Thus, you want to check with your airline before departing to see if the fees will apply. Typically, your checked luggage can weigh up to 50 pounds, and the dimensions cannot exceed 62 inches. And so, basically, a large standard roller bag is what we recommend using on your trip. And for your carry-on, typically the weight cannot exceed 22 pounds, and the dimensions cannot be over 45 inches. And so that's length plus width plus height should not be over 62 for your large bag and over 45 for your small bag. Because luggage fees and restrictions vary from airline to airline, please contact your airline directly for more information. And so I've got the different airline websites listed here, and you'll have those in the copy of the presentation that I'll send a little later today or tomorrow. Now, clothing, we had a lot of questions from people asking what clothing should they bring, what clothing they should pack in their suitcase. So for all of our escorted tours, casual clothing is appropriate. And for the nights that we have dinner included, you may want to bring slacks and a nice shirt or a blouse. As Scandinavians do like to dress up a little bit for dinner, but it is completely optional. Clothing that can be layered is recommended, as temperatures can change depending on your travel during the day. So for instance, if you start out up in the mountains, it could be pretty chilly up there. If you travel down into the valley, it could be warmer. But you want something that you can take off and put on depending on where you're traveling over that day. Now, good walking shoes are a must, as sightseeing along cobblestone streets and walking in the mountains of Norway is not the place for heels or flip-flops. So sorry, ladies. We'll leave those shoes at home and bring some nice, sturdy shoes. A raincoat with a removable lining is a good choice, or you may choose to bring a rain poncho. A light coat or jacket may be necessary in the morning and during the evening. You may also want to bring a swimsuit if you'd like to enjoy any of the pools or spas at the hotels. And finally, always recommend leaving your valuables at home. So if it's something that will create an emotional or financial hardship, it's best to leave it behind. So glitzy jewelry, things like that, family, treasured heirlooms, just leave those at home. Don't bring those on a trip. In case your luggage is delayed, I recommend packing a change of clothing in your carry-on bag. And then if you're traveling with someone, put some of your clothes in their suitcase and vice versa, just in case one bag is delayed. Now, if you're planning to visit family or friends in Scandinavia, you may want to bring a small gift, especially if they're extending their hospitality in some manner. Now, some appropriate gifts include an American flag or windsock, books, calendars, caps, t-shirts, or other items unique to your city or state, college or professional sports clothing or caps, Native American or country and western themed items, liquor or liqueurs, and for children, Disney clothing, candy, puzzles, or cartoon characters are all popular. Some other items you may want to pack include an extra memory card or batteries for your camera, snacks and a refillable water bottle, washcloths. A lot of hotels in Scandinavia do not have washcloths, so if you like washing your face in the evening with one, you'll want to bring your own. Tissues, a sewing kit or safety pin, medications, and this includes prescription and over-the-counter, Band-Aids or a first aid kit, a converter and or adapter depending on your device, sunscreen and sunglasses, extra eyeglasses or repair kit, same thing for contacts, extra contacts and solutions, maps and travel information, spot removers such as a Tide stick or wipe, inflatable pillow and an eye mask or like a travel pillow that fits around your neck, an umbrella or a poncho, a journal to record your favorite memories of the day, a small day pack for sweaters, camera, snacks, and water, and then plastic bags. A lot of people don't think about packing that, but in case anything gets wet or it's not quite dry, you can pack those in those baggies and it'll prevent the rest of your clothes from getting wet. Now, the climate in Scandinavia is very similar to that in the northeastern United States, though rarely as hot in the summer or as cold in the winter. Average daytime temperatures in Fahrenheit for June, July, and August range from the high 40s to the mid-60s, depending on your region of travel. And it's always a good idea to check the weather forecast before you depart the U.S. Now, we also had a lot of questions about converters and adapters, so I wanted to talk a little bit about that. The world runs on two types of electricity, 110 volts or 220 volts. North American devices typically run on 110 volts, while the majority of the world runs on 220. Of course, as Americans, we have to be different. So now the label on your device will help determine if a voltage converter, which is the big large box that you see here, is what you'll need to bring, or if you're just going to need an adapter. So if the label on your device indicates that it is a 220 or 240 volt adaptable, then you will only need the adapter. So you won't need the actual converter to convert the electricity from 220 to 110. So to find this label, you can look on the back of the device, sometimes it's there, on the AC transformer box of the power supply lead, so the box that you'll plug into the wall, or it's molded into the plastic on the plug. It's often very small, and so you may have to look around for it. Now, if your device is dual voltage, then like I said, all you'll need is just the adapter, which actually just changes the plug. And these typically sell for around $3 to $5. So the picture you see above, right here with the two-pronged round prongs, this is the type that you'll need for Scandinavia. Now, most hotels will have a hair dryer in the room, but if you're like me, you need a hair straightener or a curling iron, check on your device to see if it is dual voltage. Um, most laptops, cellular phones are dual voltage nowadays, so really you should only need an adapter. Currency. We also had a lot of questions about currency. So each country has its own currency. So in Norway, it's the Norwegian kroner, the Icelandic kroner, Swedish kroner, Danish kroner, and then in Finland they use euros. So the currency of the 5 countries are not interchangeable. So if you are traveling on one of our tours that visits multiple countries, you will need to exchange money in each country that you visit. Now, the easiest place to exchange your money is at your arrival airport. You can also exchange money at the banks and some post offices. Your tour director can assist you with locating an exchange desk or an ATM, so they'll be a really good resource in order to find where to exchange that money. You'll also find that major credit cards such as Visa, MasterCard, and in some stores, American Express, are honored. Most hotels nowadays, they pretty much accept all the credit cards, and some of them are even, they won't accept cash. So no cash at hotels for some of the ones in Scandinavia. One thing to note is that most companies, most credit card companies do charge a foreign transaction fee on purchases made abroad. So you'll want to contact your credit card company before you depart the U.S. to find out what those foreign transaction fees may be, and then also to let them know that you'll be traveling outside the country, and so that they won't put a hold on your card because it looks as there's some suspicious charges. So we also recommend taking a photocopy of the front and back of your card to leave behind with someone at home who can assist you in the event your cards are misplaced, lost, or stolen. Now, ATMs are readily available in larger cities. We don't recommend taking traveler's checks just because they're not as readily accepted overseas anymore. So if you're trying to figure out how much an item is, and you're looking at it in Norwegian kroner, the easiest way to do it is to divide by 8. Danish kroner, divide by 6. Swedish kroner, also 8. And then Icelandic kroner, divide by 100. So for euro, you're going to multiply it by 1.1 to get the US dollar amount. So if you are departing out of Minneapolis, St. Paul, and would like to spend the night there and have a few nights with the free parking, the Hyatt Regency Bloomington Mall of America has a special park and fly rate. It's $135 for a king or 2-queen room. It also includes 10 free days of parking. So it's a nice option for those of you that don't want to leave your car at the airport. If you are interested in this, just please contact our office and we'll make that reservation for you. Now, all of our escorted tours are, we have group airfare with Iceland Air. So if there are 2 terminals at the Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport. Terminal 1 is Lindbergh and Terminal 2 is Humphrey. Now, Iceland Air serves Terminal 2, which is Humphrey. If you have a domestic flight arriving at a Terminal 1, there is free transportation between the 2 terminal buildings. So all Iceland Air flights will route through Keflavik Airport in Iceland. Passengers arriving on Iceland Air and continuing on will need to show their passport at customs before heading to the gate for their next flight to Scandinavia. You will not need to collect your luggage in Reykjavik as long as it's been checked through to your final destination. You will have to switch planes in Iceland, but the layover time is much shorter. Here you'll only need about 30 to 45 minutes to go from gate to gate. Now, during your flight with Iceland Air, you can expect free in-flight entertainment, headphones for sale, or you can bring your own. And then you'll also receive complimentary water, soft drinks, tea, and coffee. Now, if you're sitting in the economy class, food is for purchase. In Saga class, it is complimentary. Snacks range from about $2.50 to $5 for chips, sweets, trail mix, and pastries. And then meal selections are from $8 and up, and that includes snack box, sandwich, or salad. For those of you that have requested window or aisle seats on your tour applications, we have submitted those requests to Iceland Air. However, we can't guarantee that they won't change or cancel the seats after we have submitted the request. So if We are not able to assign the seat at the time of booking. You will be assigned a seat when checking into the flight. Exit row seating and bulkhead seating will not be available for pre-assigned before check-in. Bulkhead seating is reserved for people with small children or people with disabilities. You must be able to operate the emergency door to set in the exit row, and they will determine that upon check-in. If you need wheelchair assistance or an electric cart for transfers and connecting flights, we can request that, but you will need to re-verify that at the airport. So if you do need to request a wheelchair transfer or an electric cart, please let us know ahead of time, and we'll go ahead and submit that request in for you. But it is a good idea to go ahead and reconfirm that when you check in. Now, how to avoid jet lag. If your flight arrives in the morning, try to sleep on board. And if you're like me, you have trouble sleeping on the plane, you can try over-the-counter sleep aids. I also bring an eye mask, earplugs, and if you want to bring a blanket or a pillow, hopefully that will help you sleep. Bring a toothbrush and anything that isn't liquid or gel that will help you freshen up when you get off the plane. And now you can bring a little bit of toothpaste as well, too. So, wear loose-fitting clothing and comfortable shoes. Try not to take them off as feet occasionally do swell during long flights. When possible, walk up and down the aisle to stretch your limbs and get your blood circulating. Participate in the in-flight exercise video if there is one. Drink plenty of water on the plane and avoid alcohol, caffeine, and carbonated drinks. Avoid wearing contact lenses in flight because the cabin air tends to dry them out. And if you tend to get airsick, drink a small bottle of ginger ale before boarding and pack a newspaper in your carry-on. The ginger ale will help calm your stomach, and so will the smell of newspaper. And after arrival, spend a lot of time out in the sunlight. This will help your body reset its natural time clock to coincide with your new surroundings. Know where to meet your guide. So airport transfers in Scandinavia are included for passengers arriving and departing on designated flights of Brekke escorted tours. Now, after the planning and collecting your luggage, you will proceed through passport control. After that, you'll see two exits, green if you have nothing to declare and red if you have something to declare. You'll choose the appropriate exit, and then after leaving the customs area, you'll continue to the arrival hall, and this is where you will meet your tour director. So you won't actually meet your tour director until you arrive in Scandinavia. Now, if you're arriving on a different flight than our group, you're welcome to join their group transfers, provided the arrival time is similar. Please be sure to send a note to our office indicating the flight number, arrival time, and the flight's point of departure. If for some reason your flight should be delayed, you would then be responsible for your own transportation to the hotel. Now, if your arrival time does not coincide with the group transfer, not to worry. You can choose from several modes of transportation from the airport to the hotel. Airport buses with frequent departures run from the airport to the city center and vice versa in each of the Scandinavian capitals. Trains and taxis are also available, and however, it may be necessary to take a taxi from the central station to the hotel. So sometimes the hotels are not so close to the central train station. You can meet your group at the hotel that night for dinner, and the dinner time is listed in your departure letter, which is part of your document packet that you'll receive from our office. I recommend referring to your helpful hints booklet for transfer options at the various airports. So know your hotels. The first thing you may notice about your hotel room is that they're smaller than what we expect in the U.S., and that not all of them will have an air conditioner. All the hotels used in our itineraries have private bathrooms with a shower or a tub, toilet, and sink. Now, if you get into your room and think there's a fuse blown when the TV and the lights don't come on, think again. Many hotel accommodations in Scandinavia will use key cards, which guests use to access their rooms and for the electricity as well. There will typically be a box in the entrance of your hotel room where you can slip your key card in and control the consumption of energy. It's a great way to save power, but sometimes it's a little confusing for us Americans that we don't normally have that here in the U.S. Now, some hotels in larger cities will have a guest laundry or offer cleaning services at an additional cost. For more information about these available services, please ask the front desk staff. Nearly all hotels offer internet access in their lobbies at a computer station, and most hotels nowadays offer wireless connections in the room as well. You will also find that you'll have wireless connections on most of the buses as well in Scandinavia. Now, before you set off on your own, grab a business card and a map from the front desk. In case you get lost, you can use the business card to ask for directions using the addresses on the card, and then use the map to get back to your hotel. Now, most of the time, you'll find a hairdryer, clothes iron, or pants press, along with shower gel and shampoo in your room. However, at times you can simply call down the front desk, and they will bring you the items if they're not supplied already. So the physical expectations while on tour. Most days while on tour, you'll start with a departure from your hotel between 7:30 and 9 a.m., depending upon the day's activities. A breakfast buffet is served each morning at the hotel, so time should be reserved for eating before departure. Your guide will advise each evening on the next day's departure time. You can expect to arrive at your hotel each night around 6 p.m., sometimes earlier. On travel days, you can expect several stops to allow for restroom breaks and sightseeing activities. While most tours are leisurely, you can expect to walk short distances each day, sometimes over uneven terrain such as cobblestones. You'll also need to be able to climb the steps in and out of the bus. Now, restrooms can be located in lower levels of buildings, and sometimes there are no elevators, so please be aware of this issue. If assistance is needed, we ask that you bring a qualified and physically able companion to assist you. And of course, you can always choose to opt out of activities while on tour. We leave that at your discretion. And motorized scooters are unfortunately not suitable for any of our escorted tours. So because we can't unfortunately control the universe, things do happen that are out of our control. If something does happen while you are overseas and you need assistance, here are a few helpful tips. First, ask help from your tour director. From lost luggage to finding a good place to eat, your tour director is there to help ensure that your vacation is as carefree as possible. If you happen to leave your phone behind in your hotel room, need an injury seen by a doctor, or have something stolen, your tour director can be a huge asset in getting you the help that you need. Now, if you're on your own or you haven't met up with the group yet, seek help directly from the source, whether it be the airline, hotel, or car rental agency. If you happen to get lost, ask help from the locals. Most Scandinavians speak English fluently, and you'll find that most are willing to lend a hand if asked nicely. A smile can, of course, open many doors. If you really need assistance right away, be sure to know how to place a call while you are in Scandinavia and what the local emergency numbers are. And these are listed in our helpful hints booklet, so it's something to definitely read before you leave the U.S. Now, if your passport goes missing, know where the U.S. Embassy is located so you can immediately start the process of getting a new one. And finally, be adventurous. Don't let one bad thing ruin what could be a great trip. Just think of the stories you can tell everyone back home. And here are just a few other random tips that we've just kind of thrown together over the years. First, save your poor toes and step over the threshold as you enter your hotel room. Many thresholds in Scandinavia are raised, and you'll find yourself stumbling if you're not careful. Also, be cautious when getting in and out of bathtubs in Scandinavia, as they tend to be taller than the tubs we have here in the U.S. Now, after finishing a great meal, you might find that your waiter or waitress keeps coming to check on you but never brings the check. If you find this happening to you, just kindly ask for the check and you'll soon be on your way. And speaking of eating out, tipping in Scandinavia is not typical, as many restaurants will include a service charge in your bill. You can leave a few kroner, round up to the next 5 or 10, for your waiter or waitress if they were attentive, but leaving a 20% tip is not necessary. And while we're on the topic of tipping, we do leave tipping up to your discretion on the tour for the guides and the bus driver. You'll find a handy guideline in your helpful hints booklet. You can offer a tip in U.S. dollars, but local currency is preferable. And have you ever arrived to your hotel and to open up your suitcase and find that your shampoo has exploded all over your clothes? If not, I can tell you it's no fun. So I recommend packing your shampoo, conditioner, soap, and any other liquids in a Ziploc bag and just save your clothes. You may also want to bring a small bit of soap to hand wash any items you may want to rewear while traveling. And another handy tip is one that we can't stress enough. Please call your bank or credit card company before you leave the U.S. to let them know where you are going, for how long, and to expect some charges to show up. The last thing you want to have to worry about on your trip is how you're going to pay for things. Pack a couple of days before you actually leave. This will give you a chance to hopefully catch anything you might have missed. And finally, pack some snacks to take along with you, such as granola bars, trail mix, etc. You can then use this space to bring home items you've purchased along the way. Now, we had a lot of questions that came in on the registration form, so I'm going to go through some of those. As soon as I get a drink, oh my goodness. First, one of the big questions was, how much money should I bring? And this was a really hard question to answer because it really depends on a number of factors. The length of your stay, the extent of your travels, and last but not least, your shopping and sightseeing plans. So our tours include all of your breakfasts and most dinners. However, lunches are usually left up to you. You can expect to spend about $5 to $15 for lunch in Norway. But if you eat a large breakfast and bring a snack with you and eat a decent dinner, you'll find that you won't be needing lunch very often. Other expenses are usually of a personal nature, such as laundry, drinks at dinner, taxis, or gratuities for the drivers and guides. I would recommend bringing a bag of snacks, again, and also an empty water bottle. The tap water in Norway is perfectly safe to drink, and you can save $2 to $3 on a bottle of water just by refilling your own each day before you leave the hotel. Now, should I get money before leaving the U.S.? If your bank can exchange U.S. dollars in a Norwegian kroner or Swedish kroner or Danish kroner, then it may not be a bad idea to bring some money along. You might want to contact your local bank first, just to determine if they have kroner or euro on hand, and if not, can they acquire some. You may also want to inquire if there are any fees and what the rate of exchange would be. You can then compare this to the market value to see if you are getting a good exchange rate. Now, how will you recognize others on the tour? After you get off your plane in your arrival city, the easiest way to spot other Brekke tour participants is to look for the Brekke tote bag or the luggage tag. We made our tags pretty bright for a reason, so they are easy to spot. Not only will it help you easily locate your luggage, it can help locate potential friends on the tour. Now, if you decided to book a pre-tour extension, the easiest place to meet your group is at dinner that night. The group is scheduled to arrive. You should receive the time to meet your group for dinner in your information packet, and typically it's around 6:30 or 7 p.m. Should I bring a cap and mittens? Now, personally, I prefer the chance to be warmer than colder. So if your tour includes time on a boat, which most of them do, or treks up north, then it's certainly not a bad idea to pack some warmer clothing. You can always take a layer off if you're warm, but if you're cold and left these items at home, then you are just out of luck. And are seats assigned on the motor coach? No, we ask everyone on our tour to switch seats on board the bus so that everyone gets a chance to sit where they want. And then more questions. Do my medications need to be in pharmacy-labeled bottles? Now, the TSA currently does not require passengers to have medication in prescription bottles. However, I would recommend taking at least a copy or a picture of the pharmacy label that's on your pill bottle so that you have that in case you lose your pills, they get flushed down the toilet, whatever. Can I use my phone in Norway? Unless you have an international plan, your phone will probably not work. You can contact your carrier about an international plan. However, there are ways to make calls back home when you're connected to Wi-Fi. either through FaceTime, Skype, or any one of the other video chat applications. Just be sure to download them to your phone and try them out before you head overseas. And will I be able to wash my clothes? And if you're planning to pack light and wash your clothes while traveling to Scandinavia, you may be in for a challenge. Laundromats are pretty scarce. Some hotels do offer laundry services, but it can be pricey. Taking items that can be easily hand washed in the sink and then hung overnight to dry is a great way to keep traveling garments smelling and looking fresh. So, any tips on souvenirs? Depending on what country or area you're visiting, there are some great options that you can pick up to remember your time, such as postcards, Christmas ornaments, linens, magnets, music CDs, flags, clothing, such as a Norwegian sweater, and small items that are great for packing in your luggage for the return trip home. These are all pretty small, they're all pretty lightweight, so they're easy to take with you. And other items, if you have the room, might include trolls, dollar horses, Viking replica carvings, glassware, reindeer and animal pelts, candles, pewter or silver items. Liquors are also possible, but you must pack those in your checked luggage. Otherwise, the people at the TSA may have a party that night with your liquor. So speaking of souvenir shopping, what is VAT? VAT is value-added tax. And if you do any extensive shopping while in Scandinavia, you'll want to bring your passport along on your shopping trip. You'll get necessary documents from the retailer, and then at the airport, you'll track down the Global Blue kiosk, and you'll get a refund of your value-added tax. To get a refund, your purchase has to be above a certain amount. For instance, in Norway, it's above 315 kroner at a single retailer. So you can't add up your purchases from various shops to reach the required amount. So if you're doing a lot of shopping, you'll benefit from finding one spot where you can buy big. Now, if you're worried you will starve while on our tours, not to worry. Each morning you'll be greeted with a full Scandinavian breakfast buffet, which usually includes a variety of bread, cereal, fruit, yogurt, meat, warm dishes such as scrambled eggs and bacon and sausage, cheese, jams, and more. And then for dinner, it's more of the same. There's usually several choices of meat and fish, fruits and vegetables, bread, potatoes, and desserts. Some things to try while in Scandinavia: reindeer, obviously the different kinds of fish, yogurt, cream, and ice cream. They have a higher fat content over in Scandinavia, so it's very delicious. Strawberries, cheeses, meatballs, waffles, and then berries such as lingon and cloudberries, and bread. And you may also want to try some regional drinks such as aquavit, beer, mixed drinks, and wine. And finally, if you're planning to fly with a CPAP machine, since it is considered a passenger medical device, same as a wheelchair, it would not be counted towards your carry-on allowance. To bring one on board, you must submit the make and model in order to get authorization to carry it on board. So this information must be entered no later than 72 hours prior to your departure time. And to submit this information, please email our office, and we can pass that information along to the airline. So if you're planning to travel with a CPAP machine, please send us the make and model, and we will forward that to the airline to make sure that you get approval. And now you know. So I'm going to open it up to any additional questions. I know we had a lot of comments when I lost the connection, so I'm going to go back up to the top here and try to answer some questions. But if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer, there's the bottom right-hand corner. There's a little chat function, and you can send those questions into me, and I'll try to answer those. Is it better to convert our money here or in Norway? Depending on where you are and if your bank has access to, Norwegian kroner, then it's always nice to have something a little bit ahead of time. But to be honest, converting it at the airport is really easy, and typically you get a pretty decent rate of exchange. So it really just kind of depends on if you want to have some before you leave or if you're okay with waiting until you get there to get some money. Closing. Do we have any other questions that I can help answer? Oh, do public restrooms charge and how much? The restroom stops that we make usually do not charge. I've never had that issue in Norway. I have encountered that in Iceland, but not in Norway, Sweden, or Finland. So, usually we stop at these places before with our groups, and we've not had any problems. And yes, we had a question about leaving carry-on bags in the bus while sightseeing. Yes, the bus driver, he will either stay with the bus or he will lock the bus if he is accompanying the group. So you can leave your carry-on bags on board. If for some reason there is, we're switching buses or something like that, the guide will be sure and let you know ahead of time so that you'll know to take those bags off. So, and they're usually little storage racks, kind of like the overhead bins in airplanes, where you can throw like a little day pack or something, so you don't have to keep it all right there in your seat. How much free time will we have on a spectacular Norway tour to explore other sites? Let me see. Let me pull that itinerary. Now, in Oslo, you should have an afternoon free, and then you'll have some time in Bergen as well to spend some time on your own, and Trondheim as well. So the major cities, you will have some extra time if you're planning to make some visits to other areas. So, David, if you want to give us a call or an email, let us know what you're thinking, and then we can let you know, more details, what might work best. So, let's see. Questions are coming in. If you're arriving separately from the tour, how far in advance do we need to buy the sleeve boost-in tickets? And that's the airport transfer bus. You can buy those pretty much up until the day you arrive. I probably wouldn't wait that long. You can purchase them on board the bus as well, but there's an additional charge for doing that. So if you would like to pre-book those, I would say maybe a week out, and that way you have that ticket in your hand before you leave the U.S. And then train tickets leaving Stockholm from Copenhagen. Those I would probably book at least 2 weeks in advance, just to be sure you get a good seat and the time that you want to depart. So, Mary, if you need help with any of that, please contact our office, and we'll be glad to. We can get the bus tickets as well as the train tickets arranged for you. All right. Do we have any other questions? I know we've had some technical difficulties today with this presentation, so I hope everybody is able to see and they were able to hear me. And I think because of this, I'll probably be hosting another one maybe next week, just in case anybody missed anything. So, but if we don't have any other questions, I will sign off for now. And just to give you our contact information one more time, in case you need to call us, email us, or visit our website. There is that information on the screen for you. And I will send out a copy of the presentation to everyone, along with a link for a new webinar presentation for those of you who might have gotten disconnected or weren't able to log in today. So I do apologize for the technical problems. I'm not sure what happened, but I'll be double checking that before we do this again to make sure everything's working correctly. So thank you all again for joining us this afternoon. I hope you all have a wonderful time in Scandinavia, and we look forward to showing you our favorite corner of the world. Thank you so much again, and have a great afternoon.